Today on Network Africa. Bad news for South African President Jacob Zuma as the High Court rules that corruption charges against him should be reviewed. South Sudan on its way to recovery. A long-expected unity government has finally been formed. Oh, and it's Africa Tech Friday. Sun everywhere, yet one of the world's most natural resources becomes a bit too expensive when transformed into energy. Network Africa begins right now. Welcome, everyone. I am Amarachi Ubani. The many troubles of South Africa's President Jacob Zuma may not be abating anytime soon. Earlier today, the High Court ruled that a decision 7 years ago to drop 783 corruption charges against him were irrational and should be reviewed. The decision in April 2009 to set aside the charges allowed Zuma to run for president in elections the same month. National Prosecutor Moketedi Mpishi's decision at the time was based on phone intercepts presented by Zuma's legal team that suggested the timing of the charges in late 2007 may have been part of a political plot against him. However, Judge Aubrey Ledwaba said Mpishi's thinking and behavior was irrational, especially his failure to disclose his decision to prosecutors until the moment he announced it to the nation at a news conference. Mr. Zuma is currently facing strong calls for his resignation following scandal over his home renovations and issues relating to the country's economy. The country is expected to head to elections this year, one which the ruling party, the ANC, hopes to win, but it already faces strong opposition from other political parties capitalizing on President Zuma's missteps. President Zuma, we understand, has noted the decision will give consideration to judgments and its consequences and remedies available.
Maintain that the decision to drop charges against Jacob Zuma was irrational and should not have been discontinued, and we welcome the fact that those charges must be continued and Jacob Zuma must have what he's always wanted.
Joining us now to analyze the High Court's ruling is legal expert Chukwemeka Eze. Mr. Eze, thank you for joining us on the program. Good to see you. What do you make of the timing of the High Court with this ruling over a decision made back in 2009?
The timing is very good, and South African democracy I think it's going to happen the election in South Africa is a very good country. It will take 7 years to form and a lot of scandals before democratic alliance can be in South Africa.
Mr. Zuma is already neck deep in scandal, bringing him under threat of impeachment. Now, how badly could this decision hurt his position as president or his standing in the African National Congress?
It does affect his reputation. That everything is not very clear. We know there are a lot of scandals in South African finance. The utilization of the alliance have tried very well to remove, move impeachment proceedings against Zuma, but they have not succeeded. Until there is an implosion in ANC, that is the only time Zuma will be affected politically. But if it is just external fight from EFF and Democratic Alliance, I think Zuma will survive the impeachment.
We just want to quickly apologize to our viewers for the bad audio quality. We seem to have gotten it right now. The networks are messing up with our interview. But Mr. Eze is still on the line. You know that this is fuel. This current situation is fuel for the opposition party, who have been looking for some loophole through which to rope in President Zuma. Can they possibly use this against him?
They will use it against him, but I don't think they will be successful. Because when it gets to parliament, they will be voting. A combination of the economic freedom fighters led by Julius Malema and the Democratic Alliance led by Musi Mame, a combination of their members will not be enough to impeach Jacob Zuma. And that is the confidence that Zuma has in respect of this scandal. But one thing is certain, that South African democracy is being enriched because the police had investigated this matter and let Zuma off the hook. And the public protector has been justified. The public protector from the beginning had always wanted Zuma to make a reform, and the Constitutional Court supported the position of the public protector. With this High Court ruling today, what is clear is that the National Prosecuting Authority will be under pressure to initiate prosecution against Zuma. If not now, but even when he leaves power. One way or the other, Zuma will be adversely affected.
Yeah, and but Mr. Eze, President Zuma, we understand, has responded to that decision, saying that he will give consideration to the judgment and its consequences and remedies available should he face charges eventually.
I think with the way South African democracy is going, with the encouraging distribution of powers in the system, I think Zuma will not escape facing charges. Now that the Pretoria High Court has given this ruling, I mean, everything will be spoiled against pushing Zuma to the guillotine. But the political consequence of that action may cause Zuma to resign voluntarily. But if he fails, I don't think ANC will be able to lose that position. And Nigeria has a lot to learn from this situation. Zuma has not abused the judiciary in South Africa for giving that ruling. If it were Nigeria, many people would have been abusing the judge, abusing the court, abusing the judiciary. But you can see the temperate language Zuma has used, and we have a lot of lessons to learn from it. South Africa has proven to be a virile democracy, and to a large extent, Nigeria is very far from that position.
Well, Mr. Eze, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on Network Africa. Mr. Chukwuemeka Eze, a legal expert. Now, leaders in Africa are currently attending the Giants Club Summit in Nanyuki, central Kenya. The summit works to help leaders make commitment towards protecting wildlife and end the dreaded ivory trade, which is threatening to the existence of the continent's elephants. Experts warn Africa's elephants could be extinct within decades if efforts are not made now to protect them. Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta has called for an end to the ivory trade and is expected to help set fire to more than 100 tons of the product. That's near the entire stock of ivory confiscated by Kenya, amounted to the tusks of more than 6,700 elephants.
As long as there is a vibrant market, because some is legal and some is illegal, with the corruption that we have in many countries of this continent, with the porous borders that we have, we're going to lose the elephant. So I believe we must fight hard, not just the poacher, but much more importantly, the market.
There is convincing evidence that poaching is aided by international criminal syndicates. It fuels corruption. It undermines the rule of law, as well as security. And it even provides funding for other transnational crime. This directly threatens the capacity of our nations to achieve sustainable and meaningful social-economic development.
Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta. Coming up on Network Africa, South Sudan's rival leaders form the long-awaited unity government. Join us for the analysis.